Hello everyone, welcome to Java tutorial. In our previous tutorial, we have covered the what is exception, what is exceptional handling, and the types of the exception. So in our exception hierarchy, we have object as a base class, which we all know that object is the mother of all the class, and this is further throwable. We have throwable parent class. So this is the parent class of the exception. Then this throwable class is further extended by exception and errors. In errors, we have virtual machine error or assertion errors. So these errors occurred at the JVM level and we cannot recover them. And these exceptions, there are two types of exception. One is checked exception, which are input output exception, IO exception, or SQL exceptions. These are they both extend the exceptions class. Then we have runtime exceptions, and runtime exception is further extended by arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, and number format exceptions. So this input output exception and SQL exceptions are compile time exceptions. You have to handle them at compile time, but these arithmetic null pointer and number format exception are runtime exceptions. So this is the hierarchy of the exception class. We have throwable, then we have exceptions and errors, and exception is further extended by input output SQL and runtime. And runtime exceptions are further extended by arithmetic exception, null pointer, and number format exceptions. So let's see how to handle these exceptions. So Java exception handling keywords. There are 5 keywords. One is try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. These are the 5 words with the help of which we will handle the exceptions. So first we will cover the try catch, Java try catch. So Java try catch is used to enclose the code that might throw an exception. We will enclose the code inside the try block that might can throw the exceptions. If we know that yes, this line of code can throw the exception, we can put those line of code inside the try catch, and further we will use either catch or finally. So this is the syntax. First, what we will do, we will use the keyword try, curly braces, and we will put the code that might throw error inside the try, and we will catch the exception in the catch block. And we can have this try and finally. You can use try and finally. So let's see with the help of an example. So in our previous example, we have seen one of the, suppose we have int a is equal to 10 and int b is equal to a divided by 0. Now we know that this will throw the arithmetic exceptions, and when the exception will occur, it will terminate the program from this line. And we want that the normal execution of the program should not affect the normal execution of the program. So what we can do is, here we know that this is, yeah, as you can see that it will throw the arithmetic exceptions. We know that this line of code will throw the arithmetic exception, and it will terminate the program from here, and it will not display this text. Suppose we want to display this text. Further text in the code, further code, right? We want that further code should execute. It should not terminate the program at this point. So what we can do is we can put this code inside the try block. We will put this code inside the try block, and in the catch, what we will, it's a kind of exception e, and what we can do, system.out.println, we can print it exception handled. So we have handled the exceptions. So we have handled the exception. We have put the code inside the try block and we have cached the exceptions. So let's run this program and see the output. As you can see that exception handled and for further code. This program uh, does not terminate from here. It will throw the exception and that exception will be catched by this catch E. And what we can do is we can even display the message if you want. E dot get message. As you can see that divide by 0. We have handled this exception divide by 0. So with the help of this try catch, we can handle the exceptions. And then we have syntax for try finally block. Either you can use the catch or you can use finally. If you use the finally, it will execute every time. It will execute every time. System.out.println in the finally block. And let's run this program, and here you can see that in the finally block this finally will execute every time whether the exception occurred or not. So mainly we use the finally to close the resources. Suppose we want to close the connection or we want to close the stream. For that we use the finally. Even we can use this finally without the catch. Without this catch we can use the finally. And here you can see that without catch it is showing the error, but finally is executing. It is not catching the exception, but finally block is executing. It terminates the program from here and this finally block will execute. But in that case the program get terminated from this try catch or try finally block. So this is the example of the try catch, how to handle the exceptions.